All right guys, today we have a super interesting video. What we are doing is two things. We want to torture test an LPT at the request of one of our viewers on YouTube. And then also we want to answer, I guess play Mythbusters. Want to debunk a myth that we saw on a comment a guy left about LPTs, like saying that once you load them heavy, you get up to the third stage and they don't dump or something like that. So today we're going to do two things. We're going to overload this LPT. We're going to put several thousand extra pounds in it than should be, and we're going to weigh it and we're going to show you it dumping it. So torture test and debunk a myth. Let's go. GVW, that means 7,400. We got 13.6 worth of typical capacity, but this time I think we're gonna shoot for the 16 range. It's kind of what we're after. 16, 17,000 in it. So this is the LPT, again, 210, 20,000 GVWR. This one, the extras, it's got engineer beam neck, swing down spare mount standard in that. It's got the full width neck box, so you got a little extra storage. Your pump and everything's mounted in here. It's got hydraulic jacks, 3-stage telescopic. This one is 32-inch sides, the board bracket. So it's an engineered frame. 210K axles. This one's set up for bear. It's a pretty stout trailer. 7-gauge body, I didn't mention that. 7-gauge is huge. It's thicker, quite a bit thicker than standard 10-gauge heavy duty. Not as as important when you're talking about dirt like this, but when you're talking concrete, demolition, stuff like that, it definitely makes a big difference. That 7-gauge does. But dirt's not too hard on them. Nearly like a lot of that really heavy demolition stuff. Oh, this one's got the fork holders too. My shadow's in the way. See, you have fork, stow your forks from a skid steer. Oh yeah, keep on keeping on. They barely got any in here now. It's over to that one side. So go. I love the mix match wheels. Old black wheels up front, simulators on the back. That's like business in the front, party in the back. Sitting there rumbling. There we go. That's a good example of that board bracket. That's what that's for. He just, when he was rolling the bucket back, he hit that bracket. And so, like you've heard me probably before, I call it cheap insurance, but that bracket, since he bumped it with the bucket, no big deal because he hit the wood. Had he bumped it and hit the powder coat, well, one time it may not have hurt it depending on how hard he hit it, but obviously it could deform the metal. So that board bracket just kind of almost like gives you a little bit of margin or cushion, so that, I mean, like I don't even know this guy that's loading this trailer up, but he loads it up and it's not his trailer, so he's not paying super close attention, and so that's what happens. That's why I like those boards up there. Granted, I am thankful that he is loading us up, but you know how that is. It's really probably pretty good, but he's going for another one, so I guess we'll let him see. I mean, it's pretty loaded. I feel like my goal is probably a little bit shallow. Oh, there's paint in the bottom. We got to cover that up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So my goal of being a little bit over, I think the 215s are squatting a little bit. 16 ply all steel radios. What's that? Hey, I'm being instructed to stay out of the frame. So. I think we're gonna call it there, call it good there. We're pretty loaded. So again, this is for R&D's sake. This is not to be done at home. We are doing this just answer. Like I said, we're doing it to torture test the LPT at the request of one of the YouTubers, and then also to debunk that myth of that third stage stall, if you will, on the LPT. So we're gonna run and weigh it. We'll come back here and we will give you the update, or we'll come back here and dump it, but we'll get the weight update first so we know exactly what we're dealing with. So let's go get that weight. Alright. 38.5, call it 38.550. Thank you, sir. Alright guys, you saw the screen. We have a total of 38,550 pounds. Before, recall, we weighed the truck and trailer at 15,920, and that puts a total of 22,630 pounds in the bed of the dump trailer, which is about 9,000 pounds overloaded. Like I say, I knew as he kept scooping that it was going to be quite a bit heavier than what my intention was, but here we are. So remember, don't do this at home. We're headed back now for part 2, dumping it out of here and debunking the myth, debunking the mess, the myth, the everything. 7,400. So this trailer's only supposed to have 20,000 minus 7,400. Oh no, 12,600. So we're 10,000 pounds over. Which, you know, the thing about it is we're not idiots, right? We know that there's a certain level or certain amount that people are going to overload these trailers. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. So we built some of that in. Now, 10,000 pounds over, that's a long ways up there. That's a lot. And so, just hoping this one, it doesn't tweak an axle or something, because that's a real possibility. It tweaks a torsion arm or a spindle or something at this kind of weight. But we've seen them tortured worse. If you buy a dump trailer, depending on what size axles it has, a good rule of thumb is to kind of go play at the dirt yard or the gravel pit, have them load a little bit, find out kind of where, you know, that is. Say they put 3 scoops in it and it's 5,000 pounds. The cool thing is you could kind of get a reference point. Maybe you make a mark, you kind of understand about where that is, and then so the next time you go back, you know, and dirt's different because it depends on how much moisture's in it, but the next time you go back, you know, if they get to this mark, then it's this much weight. If they get to this mark, it's this much weight. Just kind of, you gain that reference. Like right a while ago, I had no idea, and when obviously we got way overloaded. But yeah, it's kind of, as you use the dump trailers like any other tool, you'll learn better ways to do it. So. They're gonna be better served. We'll grab the remote. So already the hardest part with a scissor, the hardest part is just getting it moving. So we've already accomplished that with the telescopic. It's just going. But let's see. I keep going. Right now everything seems to be just fine. Trucking. So here in just a second you'll hear a different pitch change, and it's gonna grab second gear for the second stage. I'm telling you right now, there it goes. The second stage right there. I'm telling you right now, scissor would be game over. It would have never even started. It would have just been like raw and been done. Let's see. So we already got dirt coming out. bunker. The debunker. Third stage. Like, why do they doubt? I mean, when it's completely designed to do a job, I mean, we're going to 45. Debunked. It is a beautiful thing. So beautiful. All right, look at that. We're at 45. Completely debunked. So we got it. It's up there. I mean, and that's what you say, 22,000. So the third stage, I don't know, I keep saying it. And I don't mean to be braggy, but third stage went up, no problem, heavy loaded. What can you say? We're gonna pull forward. Is it all? Oh yeah, it's all out. Doesn't look like 22,000. Dirt is so deceiving. Let's see. Come back over here and we'll let her down and we will be done. We'll hit our closing and you don't have to look at me anymore. So quiet now. Now we're down to the second stage. So the thing about telescopics, the cycle time's a little bit slower when you're coming down, especially that last stage gets to be a little slow, especially when it's cold. But to me, the beauty lies within the power of not having to worry about, is it gonna dump or not? I mean, if I can haul and have the security that it's just gonna go, hey, that's all better compared to the unknown. Scissors are great. I mean, we've built them for a lot of years, and for the most people, they work great. But for me, when the money is not a lot different, telescopic is the way to go. No doubt. And just like that, it's down. Just in the time I've talked to you. 16, this is the tallest telescopic that we offer on the 16 foot. So just in the time that we were talking just then, it's already back down. You can be on your way, no problem. All right, guys, there you have it. What we set out to do, we set out to torture the LPT, accomplished. We set out to debunk the myth of the third stage no dump. Obviously, you saw it with your own eyes. 22,000 up at the top, it went, no problem. So jump online, man. On the LPT, you can build it 110 different ways, to fit your style or what you want to do, what you need to do. In this case, this is one of my favorite setups. If I could build one, this right here is probably one of my favorite setups, just because the medium height sides at 32, the board bracket, the gooseneck, all that good stuff. Very handy dump trailer. So